Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackshirt Breakdown. My name is Steve Marik. I'm a staff writer at Inside Nebraska, part of Rivals.com. And that man over there, he is Jay Foreman, our NFL veteran and former Nebraska Blackshirt. Jay Foreman, hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. June is here. Camp season is about to get started. It actually has
Right.
gotten started over in St. Louis and Texas. I think we're filming this on Monday, June 3rd. They'll be down there in full force on Tuesday over at some universities, trying to find the next hidden gems like they did last year. But Jay, when now that it's June, it's camp season. I mean, what's this like for you? What do you think of the staff's kind of plans to hit the road and just it's the time for resting is gone.
Right.
Now it's like 100 miles an hour. We're going.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a really good job last year. I
Mhm.
always say like the first year you're there, you kind of piece together,
That's right.
recruiting class and
Hmm.
try to find your wherewithal as far as like, this is a new recruiting, area for a lot of the staff. And so I think they did an excellent job of dominating Nebraska, really making a big print in the Midwest, and then going in and I always say like shopping a la carte down in like the Texas and places like that.
Hmm.
But then I think they use it as a learning experience as well, right? They probably I'm assuming they adjusted some things, and I think they're gonna I think as we've seen, they're gonna make some headway,
Hmm.
and they're really rolling. So this is a great time for them. I'm sure they're excited, and they view it as not exceeding expectations, but just meeting the expectations and doing their job. So I look for them to continue their progress and recruiting athletes and developing them and having a type and all the things that you need to be a consistent winner. The one thing is like everybody ties wins and losses to your class rankings. As far as like your recruiting,
Sure.
there's a lot of meat on that bone, but also how consistent and in identifying what you like, being consistent in what you want and what you look for, definitely leads to more efficiency in the recruiting and then in the development as well.
A big part of their recruiting strategy is to lock down the state borders inside, and they've been doing a great job of that, just going to schools, getting to know the high school coaches, really recruiting Nebraska's athletes really hard, but also the 500-mile radius. And that is where we're going to kind of focus on today with Bryson Hayes, a three-star wide receiver commit from Mays, Kansas, excuse me. He committed to Nebraska back on April 14th, and he was a fifth commit of the 2025 class. And we're going to be breaking him down. He is the subject of today's black shirt breakdown. So a little bit more before we get into the plays, Jay, a little bit background on Bryson. He's around 5'11", 5'10", 180 pounds. He's a three-star, like I mentioned before, out of Mays, Kansas. Nice recruiting win by Garrett McGuire. The big thing with Bryson, I think we're going to see here, obviously, is his speed. That is his top
Yeah.
trait. This cat is fast. A verified 4.340, which he ran at the Polynesian Bowl National Combine and Showcase in Las Vegas a couple summers ago. And then last month at the Kansas State track meet, he clocked in with a 100-meter dash of 10.6 seconds. So look, this guy, not a lot of size right now, but he can move and he is shifty and he has some make you miss inside of him. And that first play that we're going to be breaking down here, he was clocked out at 21.3 miles per hour. So just really impressive stuff. He was offered by Matt Rhule in June 2023. I talked to him after he was offered. I did a little story on him, and it was kind of funny. After he ran his 40 at that June camp, Matt Rhule watched it and he's like, "Hey, do it again." Because he wanted to just see it again because it was really, really fast. Bryson didn't remember the time that he had ran, but he ran it a second time for Matt Rhule, and it was as good as the first time. And boom, that's where the offer came. And
Right.
yeah, it's just really cool stuff from there. But so some stats before we get into the video breakdown here. So Bryson, as a sophomore, 19 catches for 582 yards and 8 touchdowns. He averaged 30 yards a catch, Jay. So that's some explosion
Right.
right there. Big playability. And then last fall as a junior, 60 catches. So that's a big uptick for a little under 1,000 yards at 962 and 10 touchdowns. So really cool stuff, really fast stuff from Bryson Hayes. Jay, let's get into the film right here. All right, so Jay, this first play, this is the 21.3 miles per hour that he had hit on this receiver screen. Mays used him in a lot of receiver screen actions and for obvious reasons. But Jay, what did you see from this one here?
Well, I mean, the point is when you have somebody that's dynamic both vertically and horizontally, is you want to get them out of space. This is essentially a punt return, right?
Yeah.
And this is what you want. You want one little crease, and the one thing about him I see on his tape, and obviously he was clocked at almost 22 miles an hour.
Hmm.
As he gets going, he gets faster. Some people
Hmm.
peak out at 40 yards. That's why you have the 40-yard dash. He's running faster at 50. And I like it. Look, I mean, when you go back to a good hand catch, right? And he
Yeah.
catches it in motion. And what I mean by that is he doesn't stop. So he's able to do two things at once, right? Or actually three. You're able to catch it, get into your, obviously run after the catch, but then read the defense on the roll. You see 33 right here.
Yep.
Has it, has a, easy, it should have been a tackle right there for a 2-yard gain.
Hmm.
But again, he's already thinking second and third defender. That lets you know he's really attuned at running after the catch, and look, speed kills and speed outruns some angles. And really initially those are good angles by those defenders. But
Yeah.
in reality is that one thing about him, this young man, he's one of those guys when you see him on tape right here, I could watch and see he's fast, right? Number
Hmm.
12 right here, he saw he was fast on the tape in the prior weeks. In reality, he even the ref right there couldn't keep up with him. He faced it that he's a lot faster in real life, and so he's legit speed, and that's what you want to
Hmm.
see. Guys that run good track times, and you want to see them play fast too.
Hmm.
I like the tracks, the track times. I like the football speed, and he has both.
Hmm.
And when you get him in plays like this and positions like this, he's going to make explosive plays all the time.
Yeah, he makes those DB coverages. If they're playing off, if they're playing cushion, if they're giving him some cushion because they're afraid of him, running by them deep. I mean, that's just, throw it to him out quick and let him go to work. And that's what we saw there. So we have 3 screens of his right here. I apologize to the viewers at home in the top right screen. I cannot change that. So unfortunately, we might get blocked off here. But Jay, this second screen, like I said, he's got some make you miss inside of him, really shifty. He can get yards when you think he's not going to get any. He just kind of squeaks through a lot of traffic here and scores.
Well, Steve, right here initially, you see this is a double coverage here. You got coverage underneath and one deep,
Yeah.
and it's a good play design right here. Good right here,
Great
catches it.
blocking.
Great blocking. But I like a little bit of strength right there.
Hmm.
And you know what? His size worked to his advantage right there, right? Watch how he's able to dip underneath this last little defender here, and uses less. He's a vertically challenged, I guess, if you want to say,
A little
but
bit.
a little bit. But he plays bigger than
Hmm.
his size. That's why
Absolutely.
he's able to get a Power 5 offer. See, the one thing what people don't understand, everybody just always initially just looks at somebody's size and they're like, oh, he doesn't, he's not going to be able to be physical.
Yeah.
When you look at somebody that say he's undersized right now, and he'll get bigger faster, well, I don't know how much faster he get, but he'll get bigger
Yeah.
and stronger in college. But if you play big, right? And
Hmm.
you can look at him in his uniform. He's got a good base on him as far as legs
Yep.
and
He does.
strength right there. And you like his quickness right there. So you know that he's a natural athlete. That's how he's able to run through arm tackles. I always like be squeak right through there like a mouse through a little hole.
Hmm.
And be physical and finish out a run like that. So what it does, it provides flexibility and also confidence for Garrett McGuire, but then also flexibility in the play calling where you can't just say, okay, well he only runs smoke screens, and
Hmm.
if we bottle him up, he's going to go straight down. And so it's a good play right there. Obviously it was blocked well, designed was well,
Yep.
but I'm more interested in the traits that he normally isn't given credit for that we're seeing in this play.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I wanted to make sure to add as well, even though this third play that we'll be breaking down is another screen that he takes to the house, but he's not just a screen guy. So we'll get into that later. But Jay, one more screen here that he takes the sideline, wins it, and just again outruns everybody.
Yeah, he runs this route pretty good. But see, what do we always talk about, Steve? You either want to get up the hash or get up the sideline. What do you when you
Hmm.
hit the sideline? Where the most explosive plays go? You get the edge. That's why it's
Yep.
such a big deal whether you can set the edge or not. Now, what he's able to do is beat the edge, right? The guy
Yeah.
defender right there defeats it, but all he needs is about a half a yard in a half a step,
Mm-hmm.
and he is gone. Right now, these guys could just start striking up the band. He can put up throw the hand up because he's gone. And the legit speed that he has will make defensive coordinators and defensive backs when he is ready to play and get on the field. And he's going to probably show it as soon as he get in on campus.
Mm-hmm.
You got a game plan for this. And so what it does is when you have a guy, and I guess I'll say this: when your track speed matches up with your football speed, it actually is faster speed. You get what I mean? I know that
Sure.
doesn't necessarily make common sense, and here's why. Normally, guys that run good track times don't know how to run like be as fast
Mm-hmm.
football speed, right? This guy can, and it's legit. And also, and this is from a defensive perspective, the acceleration is
Yes,
serious right here.
it
Watch it
is.
right about now. See that I mean, I wish we had one of those like where you can go like just in like little segments. Watch
Mm-hmm.
when he's about the 26 yard line,
Mm-hmm.
24 to 26 yard line right there. Those 2 yards, watch how fast he goes right there. This acceleration right here, game over. You
That's
see that?
burst. Yeah.
It's almost like the tape sped up right there.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, from a defensive standpoint, is what the things that used to worry me about guys to go from zero. It's like a Mustang, new souped up GT Mustang or whatever Corvette that can
Yeah.
go 0 to 60 and whatever versus like a Chevrolet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a Suburban and he's a GT Mustang. I got to really try to cut him off, and so that's where his athletic ability, acceleration, and stuff can pay dividends. And then everything that he's running right now would give Coach Foley
Oh
excitement
yeah.
as a punt returner
Mm-hmm.
and a kick returner. And also, being this quick and this fast, he can help on coverage units
Put him at a
because
gunner, right?
that's what I was just about to say. As a
Yeah.
gunner, he's going to be able to beat press coverage. If they
Mm-hmm.
have to double him at the line of scrimmage, that means somebody else can make plays.
Sure.
You talk about downing sky punts, coffin corners. He's able to run down there and catch it, when you try to pin him down there. So that he's not only, being effective as far as a wide receiver, but in all
Mm-hmm.
four phases in special teams, he could be dangerous as well.
That's an excellent point. I did not even think that. That's why we have Jay Foreman on this show to think of things like that. Now, like I said, Jay, before, he's not just a screen guy. He can run routes. Pull up his huddle highlight film, and he's taking post routes to the house. He's getting behind defenses. But what I like about this one is if the coaching staff sees the DBs playing off, if they see that coverage, if he sees that coverage, he can just show the quarterback his numbers, take a little short hitch route here, and it's a one-on-one. And like I said before, he's got some make him miss in him. He's shifty. He's hard to bring down one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's hard to. I mean, at the high school level, he's going to be hard to defend
Mm-hmm.
because of the speed. I like a turn up, hit the sideline. He's able to break tackles right there. The
Yeah,
good balance right there, right?
excellent
And
balance.
yeah, and that's what you want. You want to. That's. I mean, I can't. I don't know how Nebraska evaluates it, but I just look at everything from a defensive perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? Run after the catch. Can you break tackles? That lets me know you have natural strength, and like I said, he plays bigger
Mm-hmm.
than his stature is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good catch right there. And he's catching and already thinking about turning up, making one other guy miss, third guy miss, and the fourth guy kind of gets him in there. And the best
Yeah.
reaction is if you go back and Steve at the end of the play, I have a great reaction by the defender, right? They
Uh-huh.
think, oh, we got him dead to rights, right?
Yeah.
Um, you make two. He's going to come in here at this screen right there about the 6 yard line. Look at him right there, young
Yeah.
man. Young man was like, oh, how did he score?
Face
But
down.
yeah, this guy right here, he's up there about the 5 yard line. But the thing is, what you like to see is be able to break tackles, be a
Mm-hmm.
strong runner, and everything else is going to be up to him. Him and Coach McGuire to develop him as a route runner and receiver and all that. But the initial athletic ability and explosiveness, these are things you just can't teach. He has a natural. I mean, he's just fast, dude. I mean, and he's quick, and he's for a little guy, he plays a lot bigger than his stature.
All the previous plays that we break down, he's been on the outside. This is our first one of an example of him playing inside as kind of that slot area as a number 2 receiver. Little in breaking route, and again, he just makes magic happen. He's really slippery. Nobody can really get him down, and he takes this thing to the end zone.
Well, Steve, look in the slot. What do I always say? If you want to be explosive in offense, I'm a big
Mhm.
believer you get explosive at the hashes first, right? Because that's where you have the most mismatches. Big tight ends against little safeties, big tight
Yeah.
ends against linebackers. Now, fast, quick slots against guys like myself, right? It always gave me nightmares. Right here, it gets off a little bit of I call it ghost press coverage. Really good job right here. It's like a little sit down route, a little area route, as I like to call it, right? Linebacker probably got caught slipping. Then again, take advantage of your opponents. They ran into each other like two
Yeah.
ghosts in the night
They
or two
did.
trains in the night. But look what happens here. Once he misses that tackle and he's able to outrun angles, that's why he's really good at run after the catch, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't have to get you with a whole bunch of ginsus or moves, right? His
Mhm.
speed allows him to break tackles, and also he has a good base and strong legs, and he's able to run through arm tackles, right? So
Mhm.
let's be honest, number 20 should have made this tackle.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. Well, now he put his buddy in a no-win situation because
Yeah.
20 knows he ain't catching him right here. Now his buddy, probably, mad at him since math class, right? Head on the wrong, he just outruns the angle, touchdown. So it should have been a 5-yard gain, turns into 6 points. When you have legitimate track/football speed and you have a good stature and strong, right? I
Mhm.
mean, what I mean by strong is, I mean, I guess I just say it better. He has really good balance,
Mhm.
right? What I mean, and so his legs are strong, right? He has a
He's
good core.
sturdy. He's got a good foundation.
Right, good foundation. So, how does that correlate to football? It allows you to take something right here, and this guy, and if you didn't have a good base, a good foundation, a normal fast track guy, once he
Mhm.
gets hit right here, he goes down.
Sure.
Right here, he's
Yeah.
able to obviously bounce off of this, keep his balance, right? Good footwork, right? Good leg drive. He didn't even really break stride. So
Mhm.
he's a strong runner. I
Mhm.
imagine if we saw him run track and he's running 100 or 200, I guarantee coming around that turn, he's a strong runner,
Mhm.
and that bodes well for him in any position he's played so far.
Now this is one of my favorite ones because they used him in motion. They've got him moving a little bit before the snap, and I really like how he runs. He stays patient. He runs his route well. He finds some open green. Like I said, stays patient, hauls in the pass, breaks a tackle, runs for a touchdown.
Yeah, him in motion and his stature is probably what
Yeah.
the coaching staff maybe envisioned maybe for Billy Kemp, before
Hmm.
he got injured, multiple times last year. But I like more importantly here, Steve, is that he was able to high point this, right? And he showed a little bit of wherewithal right here, right? Kind
Hmm.
of, defender. You see the little quickness right here, little slip move. You see,
Yeah.
if you can go back to that,
Yep.
I like that right there. A little bit of guile, the it factor, whatever however you want to call it. Right here, and this is where a linebacker here in a backside hook drop, right? Good drop right there by him. He's playing, high to low, coming up there. Good job of him, reading it. And this has come from continuity with him and his quarterback, right? But watch this little boop right
Yeah.
there. Got him. Next thing you know, right there. This dude's fast enough. You might as well just go ahead and shut it down. You don't want to
Yeah.
pop a hammy trying to catch him. But I like this. Look at this quickness right here.
Whoop.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a dead leg right there, Steve. It's
Hmm.
the dead leg for you people listening is a move that has withstood the test of time. If a nuclear,
Yeah.
we came down, listen, the football starts backing up, they with the dead leg would still work, and it
Hmm.
turns into 6 points again. Strong runner. Look at that right there. See that?
Yep.
Strong base, good foundation. Right? You expect him to come back and be able to drag him down if he's a normal track dude. House call, good blocking there. But I'm really impressed by this move right here, on this underneath route. Right? You would have probably most likely sat down right there.
Hmm.
Right? He would have
Hmm.
probably sat down right there on that X, but he went a little bit farther, breaks the tackle, touchdown. And so I mean, look, until he gets to college, and you know what, and he might, get a little bit taller because I think
Hmm.
once he gets in a weight program and gets focused on football, sometimes guys, maybe grow an inch or two.
Yeah.
So we really don't even have to talk about his stature.
Hmm.
He is his height is what it is, but he plays bigger than that.
Hmm.
And how you play bigger? One, I said you can always go back to like a Steve Smith, listed at
Yeah.
5'11". He's 5'9". but plays big. He's able to go up and get 50-50 balls. And he's extremely physical, right? Both
Mm-hmm.
in the block game and run game
Mm-hmm.
and run after the catch. This dude here, this young man right here, for his stature in the high school that at the high school level,
Mm-hmm.
actually is able to play bigger. Why? Because he has a really good foundation. He's a strong runner. And you don't normally see that with track guys. Track guys usually aren't the strongest runners initially out of high school. They learn it
Mm-hmm.
because they get a different training. They get bigger bases and they just get more sturdy. He actually has a good strong base. That's where you're able to see him, guys bounce off his legs. He's able not even to break stride when guys try to tackle him low.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think it's appealing for Nebraska coaches to get him to commit.
One more question, Jay, before we let you get out of here. During your NFL playing days, was there kind of like a smaller receiver who was known for his quicks, his speed that you
Yes.
really just did not like playing against whenever it came around on the schedule?
Hey, man, I played against him one time, maybe twice. Antoine Randall L. Let me tell
Oh,
you something,
wow.
man.
That a name. That's a
Listen,
name right there.
listen, man. Antoine Randall, we played up in Pittsburgh one time. We were the Houston. I was having a good game, and we ended up beating him. We played excellent on defense. And I knew Antoine Randall was quick because he was really good as a punt returner and all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think one time, they had kind of ran a smoke screen and we bottled him in, and I got and jumped on him, thought I made a tackle. Well, we ran this like a fire zone blitz, so a zone blitz, and it was kind of like the one where he dipped around the guy and kind of
Yeah.
dead legged him. Right,
Uh-huh.
I was on the backside and I was late out of my drop. And when I tell you Antoine Randall L, I don't know what he did to me, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
He shook me so bad. He zigged and zagged, and I still was zigging. And Joey Porter, who was a good friend of mine, was on the sideline. Everybody was clowning me. And it got to the point, if I would have tried to get back and get him, I might have left my jock strap was already there. My pride was there.
Yeah.
If I would have really reached back and tried to get him, my two ACLs would have been there. So I just kept it moving. So yeah,
Ex-
Antoine Randall L is the guy that got Jay Foreman. It was so bad, I think I fast forwarded that on the tape. And but that's the same thing. Quick,
Mhm.
fast, small guy, right?
Yep.
Quarterback in college, ran track in high school,
That's right. Yeah.
developed into an NFL receiver, and I think he played 8 to 10 years.
Wow. That's awesome stuff. Just Antoine Randall L. That is a name right there. One of the greats. Awesome. So, Jay Foreman, thank you so much for breaking down Bryson Hayes. It was a lot of fun. Nebraska's got a speedy receiver coming to Lincoln out of the 2025 class. Good job by Garrett McGuire for creating that relationship and winning that recruitment over Kansas and Kansas State. Couple local programs for Bryson that did not get him. So awesome. For Jay Foreman, I'm Steve Mark. That was Inside Nebraska's Blackshirt Breakdown, Bryson Hayes style. Catch y'all later.